In today's video, we're comparing TotalAV and Windows Defender and answering a very real question for beginners. Do you actually need both, or is Windows Defender enough on its own? What's up, you guys? My name's Ashley, and if you're using a Windows computer, you've probably wondered this at some point. Windows Defender is already there running in the background, so it's really easy to assume that you're fully covered and can move on. This matters because beginners often fall into one of two extremes. Either they assume the built-in protection is perfect and never think about security again, or they download extra software without really understanding what it does. By the end of this video, you'll have a very clear picture of what Windows Defender does well, what TotalAV adds on top of it, and how to decide what makes sense for your actual habits instead of guessing. Let's get into it. So to make this comparison very clear, let's go ahead and define both sides. Windows Defender, now commonly called Microsoft Defender, is the default security tool built into Windows. It provides real-time protection against many common threats like viruses and malware. It runs automatically, updates with the operating system, and doesn't require any setup from most users. TotalAV is a separate security platform that you install yourself. It's designed to provide antivirus protection along with additional tools like web protection, system cleanup features, and optional privacy tools depending on the plan. The goal of TotalAV is to give users more visibility and control over their device's security instead of relying entirely on background protection. So the real comparison here is not free versus paid. It's baseline protection versus expanded protection and whether beginners actually benefit from the difference. Now let's talk about some of the key features. Now Windows Defender's main strength is its simplicity. It runs quietly in the background and automatically scans files as they're opened or downloaded. Because it's built directly into Windows, it works closely with system updates and security patches. For many beginners, this is really reassuring because there's nothing to manage or configure. However, Windows Defender is intentionally minimal. It doesn't give beginners much insight into what's happening behind the scenes. Alerts are basic, scan options are pretty limited, and there's very little guidance about risky behavior like unsafe websites or phishing attempts beyond basic warnings. TotalAV takes a more visible approach. One of its key features is its on-demand scanning and reporting. Beginners can run scans manually and see clear summaries of what's happening on their system. This can help people feel more confident that their device is actually clean. Another major difference is web protection. So TotalAV actively helps block known malicious websites and phishing pages before they even load. This is important for beginners because many modern threats don't come from downloading files, but from clicking links, fake login pages, or ads. TotalAV also includes system cleanup and performance tools. So while these aren't strictly security features, they help beginners understand what's taking up space and slowing their device down. Windows Defender does not offer this kind of visibility or cleanup assistance. Depending on the plan, TotalAV may also include a VPN component, so this adds a layer of privacy when browsing, especially on public Wi-Fi. Windows Defender does not provide VPN functionality as part of its core protection. Now let's talk about how protection actually works day to day. Now this is where the comparison between TotalAV and Windows Defender becomes practical instead of theoretical, because day-to-day protection isn't about features on a list. It's about what's actually happening while you're using your computer. Now with Windows Defender protection, it's mostly reactive. It works by scanning files and programs as they appear and checking them against known threats. If something dangerous is recognized, Windows Defender steps in and blocks it. For users who stick to familiar websites, don't download many files, and rarely click on known links, this approach may be enough most of the time. The trade-off is that Windows Defender assumes you already know how to avoid risky behavior. It doesn't do much to guide you or warn you ahead of time. If you click a suspicious link or land on a sketchy website, Windows Defender may not step in until something clearly malicious is detected. For beginners, that can feel like protection only shows up after the mistake has already happened. TotalAV works differently in everyday use because it leans more towards prevention. So instead of waiting for a file or program to become a problem, it actively helps reduce exposure in the first place. Features like web protection aim to block known unsafe websites before they load, which can stop phishing attempts or fake pages before you even interact with them. This difference matters for beginners who aren't always sure what's safe online. If you're someone who shops online, clicks email links, or browses casually without thinking much about security, that extra layer can act as a safety net. Instead of relying entirely on your own judgment, TotalAV helps catch issues earlier in the process. Another major difference shows up in awareness. Windows Defender is designed to be quiet and invisible, and that's great for people who want hands-off protection. It also means beginners may not learn much about online risks. You're protected detected, but you don't always know why or how. TotalAV, on the other hand, makes security a bit more visible. Alerts, scan results, and dashboards give you feedback about what's happening on your device. Over time, this can really help beginners recognize patterns, understand common risks, and become more confident online. Instead of guessing whether something is safe, you get clearer signals about what's going on. There's also a difference in how each tool feels when something goes wrong. With Windows Defender, problems may only become obvious after a threat is detected or blocked. With TotalAV, you're more likely to see warnings or blocks earlier, which can make issues feel easier to manage and less stressful. In simple terms, Windows Defender works best if you already have cautious habits and don't want to think about security at all. TotalAV works better if you want guidance, visibility, and a bit of backup when you're not sure what's safe. Neither approach is wrong, but they support very different types of users in day-to-day life. Now that you really understand the core differences, let's talk about the pros and cons. So Windows Defender's biggest advantage is that it's free and already installed. You don't need to make decisions, compare plans, or manage subscriptions. For beginners who want basic protection with zero effort, that's a really strong benefit. It also integrates really smoothly with Windows updates, which helps close known security gaps without extra action from the actual user. The downside is that Windows Defenders offers limited guidance. It doesn't help much with phishing awareness, unsafe websites, or overall system health. Beginners may be protected without realizing where their risks actually are. TotalAV's main advantage is coverage and clarity. It combines antivirus protection with web safety tools and system visibility in one place. Beginners often find this reassuring because it reduces guesswork and makes security feel more understandable. The downside, though, is cost. Not everyone needs extra features, and some users may feel that paid protection is unnecessary if their habits are already cautious and minimal. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at what the pricing is for TotalAV. Like we talked about, Windows Defender is built in, so there is no cost, but if you want to go ahead and check out TotalAV for yourself, we do have a link down in the description below, and you can save 80% right now. Once you click that link, you can click buy now, and as you can see, it's $1.59 for 12 months. You can save 80% off for your first year. They're having a January sale, so make sure you don't wait on this. So the regular monthly amount is $8.25 per month, so it's still a really good deal. So again, I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that, but you can save 80% on your first year, which brings it to $1.59 per month. They also have a money back guaranteed, so you can get a full refund within 30 days, so there really is no risk. Now let's talk about some bonus tips for beginners. So number one is to don't run two antivirus programs at the same time. Using TotalAV means you don't need another antivirus running alongside it. Stacking antivirus tools can cause conflicts and slow your system down. Number two is built-in protection doesn't mean complete protection. Windows Defender handles many threats, but it doesn't prevent every mistake. Understanding its limits is going to help you decide if you want extra layers. Number three is to think about how often you click unfamiliar links. If you shop online, open email links, or browse casually, web protection tools can help catch mistakes before they happen. Number four is security should match your comfort level. Some beginners prefer hands-off protection, others feel better seeing scans and alerts. Neither approach is wrong, just figure out what works best for you. Number five is antivirus and privacy tools are not the same. Windows Defender focuses on device security, VPNs and privacy tools focus on your connection. TotalAV can combine some of these ideas, but they solve different problems. Number six is updates matter more than brand names, so no tool works well on an outdated system. Keeping Windows and your security software updated is critical. Number seven is simple setups are easier to stick with. The best protection is the one that you actually use. Choose tools you understand instead of chasing maximum features. And lastly, number eight is peace of mind has value. If extra protection helps you feel more confident online, that really does matter. Security is about reducing stress, not adding it. Okay, now which one should you choose? If you're a beginner who wants free automatic protection and doesn't want to think about security at all, Windows Defender may be enough for your current needs. But if you do want more visibility, stronger web protection, and an all-in-one dashboard that helps guide safer behavior, then TotalAV will definitely be a good fit. You don't need both running together. The decision comes down to whether you prefer quiet baseline protection or a more guided all-in-one approach. I know how confusing confusing online security decisions can feel, especially when your computer already has some built-in protection. The goal isn't to overdo it, but to choose something that matches how you actually use your device. If you want to go ahead and check out TotalAV for yourself, we do have a link down in the description below, and you can save 80% right now. I do want to mention that these are affiliate links, which means we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So if you do choose to use our links, we just want to thank you so much in advance for supporting our channel. It really helps us to continue to create free content just like this. This channel is dedicated to helping you stay safe online with clear and honest explanations. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and of course, leave any comments or questions below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.